Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Football Fignuts podcast. This is Season 8, Episode 24. And if you've been here since the very beginning, this is episode number 335. My name is Britt.
And my name is Craig.
And Craig, the Super Bowl is over.
It is.
It was probably the most boring Super Bowl we've had in
at least
a decade.
I would say 2 decades. I think for me, one of the most boring Super Bowls I've ever watched was the 49ers versus the Chargers, like in the late 90s.
Oh, yeah.
Terrible.
That was
terrible
1996?
7?
I was at UConn. It was
mid-90s. Mid-90s, yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe 95? I have to look it up. But it was terrible, so I don't even want to look it
up. The entire playoff period, all we were hearing from Cinch was these games are boring. These games are boring.
He was right.
Why am I watching this? I can't stand this. And all I could think to myself is, this Philly-KC game can't be boring. It can be one-sided, one way or the other, but it can't be boring. And man, was I wrong.
It was boring. And yeah, it was by halftime, I was kind of mentally checked out. I was like, whatever.
Yeah. Oh, me too. Me too. And I had too much to drink the night before, so I watched the goddamn thing sober.
Oh, that's a terrible mistake.
Oh yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry that happened to you.
Oh yeah, I regret all of my life choices the night before the Super Bowl. I had a couple extra drinks, and the next morning I was like, "Oh man, I'm feeling hungover. Well, I'm not gonna be able to drink anything tonight while I'm watching the Super Bowl." And I was like, "It'll be fine. It'll be fine. I can watch my team get obliterated sober. It's fine." And
no,
it wasn't fine.
No,
it's whatever the opposite of fine was. So. All right, well, let's jump right into the off-season mode. Let's start where we always start. Craig, what are you drinking tonight?
Tonight, because my week has been incredibly stupid at work.
Yeah.
I have whiskey. This is Fraser and Thompson whiskey. It is.
Oh, I don't know this one.
It is very smooth and very good, and I think Michael Bublé is actually doing promotion for them, so he's like on their ads. But it's very, very smooth. No burn, like, at all, or minimal at the most.
Is it a specific type of whiskey, like a bourbon or a Scotch, or is it just whiskey?
Let me double check here. Yeah, it's just a whiskey, really.
Yeah, for those who don't know, bourbon is a type of whiskey, and Scotch is technically a whiskey as well.
To make it more confusing.
Yes. So okay, good. But hey, where'd you find this?
It was a Christmas present, so the bottle is very low right now. There might be one more glass in the bottle left. So
nice, good for you. I am drinking diet soda because I have a very important meeting tomorrow morning at 9 a.m.
Perfect.
And I, again, as I said, I woke up hungover before the Super Bowl. I do not want to risk anything. Tomorrow night at this time, probably going to be somewhere near the bottom of a can of Two Roads beer. But tonight, I am maintaining my sobriety so that I can be fully effective tomorrow morning.
That's good. So, wait, or a can, or like that craft bottle you bought, or like the whiskey bottle you bought from Two Roads?
Well, the whiskey's gone.
Okay. All right.
Thus why last weekend and such was a little bit of a trial. Well, that wasn't last week. It was the Super Bowl. But last week it was a little bit of a trial, too. Here's the thing. I make it sound like I come home every night and have like 5 or 6 drinks and get tanked. No. Last week I had a challenging couple of days. So Wednesday night I had like 5 beers. Yeah. And then I was like, nope, got to stay sober on Thursday. So I'm good on Friday. Friday, I came home and had like 5 beers. And so I was like, okay, nope. Saturday we take the day off Saturday. And then Sunday, I got a last minute invite to a D&D session. And I'm like, it's fine. I only have 2 beers left in the fridge. And that's when I found 4 more beers in the back of the fridge. And yeah. So I got to work on my self-control a little bit. Obviously some people be saying, oh my God, this guy's at risk for alcoholism. Of course, everyone is. If you drink, you're at risk for alcoholism. I want to be aware so that I don't end up in that thing. So, last week I had a total of 18 drinks over 3 different nights over the course of like 10 days. And even though, some doctors would be like, that's too much. Some doctors would be like, all right, just be careful. Either way, I recognize I need to be careful. So So yeah, so tomorrow I'll probably be in so the whiskey is gone, and this weekend will be a strictly beer weekend for Brit because I want to just be good.
Yeah, there are 5 stages of drinking.
Yes,
Larry Miller. Yep, Larry Miller. If you haven't seen that clip, stand-up clip, you should watch it. It's older, but it's very funny.
How old is it?
It's probably like 20 years old.
It's gotta be, right?
18, 20 years old, but it's still hysterical.
It is. It really is. It's a great clip. So, all right, let's move on. Burning hot takes. Craig, anything burning with you this week?
Not really. I mean, so you saw. I have one thing, and maybe you can because you know him better than I. I was for the life of me trying to understand the source's point about ownership and the Bengals in our group chat that I was trying to see. I was trying to understand what he was saying. He was saying players can't blame ownership, but I'm like, following the Bengals for as long as I have, I'm like, Mike Brown is incredibly cheap. So like,
so for our listeners, bring us up, bring them up to date, and remind me.
All right, so there was a clip on First Take. Now aside, the hosts of First Take are all, they say things to get you to watch their show. Yes. They're basically verbal clickbait. There's also a whole like sex scandal going on with everyone in their cast. So that's a whole other thing.
Yeah. Everyone's sleeping with everyone else. We're trying to.
Exactly. So one of them said, "Oh, should Joe Burrow ask for a trade at this point?" But like at no point has Joe Burrow said, "Trade me." He actually said, "I want to rework my contract to help keep people."
Right.
So like I was going back and forth with the source and him saying he doesn't understand why players say they want to make money, but then they blame ownership. But I'm like, I was trying to like connect the points between the Bengals and what he was saying, and I was kind of missing it.
I'm not really clear where he was going with it either, honestly. I think his point is general, and I'll apologize in advance if I'm misunderstanding it too. The NFL is a business like any other. The owners are there to make money.
Right. There
is this bizarre thought that exists in pro sports that doesn't exist anywhere else in society, that if an owner makes $100 million, if their business brings in $100 million, then like 90% of it should go back to its employees. Mm-hmm. The players look around and go, if you're making $100 million, we should be making 90 million of that 100 million. That's not how business works in the world. Right. And for some reason, pro sports is the one area where unions can stand up and say, open your books if you really want us to negotiate with you. Do you think that shit happens at an Amazon union meeting?
No.
They walk in and they're like, hey, you got to show us how much money you made last year so we decide how much the people in this packing plant deserve. It doesn't. It doesn't. But you hear this all the time. Well, players should ask for more money because the owners have so much. Here's breaking news for you all. The reason why they have so much money is because they don't pay a lot of money to their employees. That's what happens.
Usually.
So I think his point is that there's a lot of time the players will point at the owners and say, you don't pay enough and you're rich and you have all this. And it's not a realistic standpoint in the real world. But at the same time, Joe Burrow hasn't done that. But everybody likes to talk about it, right? Everybody likes to talk about, the Cowboy franchise is worth like $1.3 billion. They can afford. They can build this new facility for like $50 or $60 million so they can afford doing this and that. New facilities are built all the time. It doesn't mean that they can give huge raises to their employees.
True.
You know, we have a friend who works for Duracell, and Craig, you learned earlier today they're getting ready to build a brand new plant in Georgia. Mm-hmm. And does that mean everybody in that Georgia plant should expect a raise because things are going so well they can build a new building?
Unlikely.
Yeah, but in pro sports, that's how pundits approach it. Oh, you have all this money to build a stadium. You have all this money to pay your players. That's not how business works.
And plus with sports too, there's also like the sports math of like caps and such.
Oh my God.
So that's a whole other thing where like, I don't know if they can afford, clearly a lot of teams can't afford to keep a lot of people because
Yeah.
like the sports math, even though it's pretend math, it doesn't work.
Yeah. How many times have we sat here on Over the Cap and just broken down numbers and
Several.
been like, okay, if this happens before March 15th, blah, 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 blah. Like I'm already starting to hear it for this year. I saw a headline this morning that the Chiefs dead cap number on Travis Kelce goes through the roof if he retires after March 15th.
Really?
Yes. And my reaction was, and then cut him. I mean, that's what my employer would do. Oh, you're due for a huge bonus. I don't want to pay it. I'm going to fire you.
Yeah.
That's what most employers. So I think that was his point. His point was that these pundits and these players, you really can't take them seriously when they sit there and go, we deserve more. We deserve more. Yes, we all deserve more for the work we do. You're not going to get it.
No. Yeah, that's right. And plus, like certain teams historically
are cheap.
Are cheap. So, and I've said it before, like whenever I feel like the Bengals are in the Orioles situation where once Mike Brown is no longer with the team, things will be much different. But until then, even though he has his family in different positions, he is still the one. I don't care what anyone says. The owner of the team is still the one making the actual decisions. They can be like, hey, we should do this. And he'll just be like, no. So that's kind of where it's at. I mean, do I want all of the Bengals to stay together? Yes. Do I think it's going to happen? At the most, maybe one more year. And then, a lot of them, not all of them, but a lot of them are going to wind up on different teams. It's just the way it's just the way it is. It's not like it's very rare these days where players stay with one team their entire career. Like, football, it doesn't like look how long Tom Brady was with the Patriots and then he left. Like everyone thought he was going to retire a Patriot. And it doesn't really happen I really don't think it really happens in football that much anymore. Like if ever, it happens more in baseball, like say Derek Jeter, for example. But it's even in baseball, it's still kind of rare now. So
yeah. So I mean, and this is one of the things I'm looking at. Hold on, I don't know if these are the new numbers or are these the old numbers. When was this put out? So last year, I don't think the new ones are out yet. NFLPA report card 2025. Hold on, I'm just doing a quick search here. Under news. Okay, no, it hasn't come out yet. It'll come out the end of this month. So every year, the NFLPA polls its players on what do you think about the team you played for this year, give them a grade on a number of things: training staff, ownership, team travel, weight room, etc., treatment of families, all these different factors. Last year, the Kansas City Chiefs report card was brutally bad.
Really? Well, so the end of last season or like the beginning of this past season?
I'm not exactly sure when they take it. They release it at the end of February.
Okay.
Nutritionist, F, 31st in the league.
Wow.
Locker room, F, 28th in the league. Training staff, F, last in the league.
Wow.
Ownership, F minus, last in the league.
Wow.
The only thing the Kansas City Chiefs got better than a C plus in was head coach. They gave Andy Reid an A plus.
Oh, good for Andy.
Were in the bottom 10 of every other category. Weight room, C plus. Strength coach, C plus. Team travel, D. Their own players were like, no, this is crap. Now it made a lot of press because they had won the Super Bowl,
right? Like
less than a month before, and their 2023 grades weren't great, but they weren't this bad. Supposedly, the last 6 months or so, the owner has been walking around and focusing and saying things like, "How's the hotel this time around? You guys like this hotel? We don't have to use this hotel again. Everybody okay? Your family being taken care of? Your treatment of families good?"
Oh, yeah. Well, that's good. That's a good start.
Every owner but that's the thing. Not every owner values that, right?
True.
Every owner has a different like Cincinnati seems to be very worried about its bottom line. The Chiefs seem to be very worried about appearances. The Chiefs are the Cowboys, right? Jerry Jones didn't build this fantastic stadium presented by Jerry Jones because he cares about the people. He can make money off of it, and it's about appearances.
Oh yeah, he cares about the perception people have of him and his Dallas Cowboys.
And there's a couple teams like that. There's a couple teams like the Raiders. The Raiders had put 0-0 into, well, before this year, maybe getting Pete Carroll there, which I still think is a tremendous mistake. But they've put like 0 into player development and training, but they built this gigantic stadium in Vegas.
Yeah.
And it's got this flaming torch in the end zone. And
but it
Chiefs
looks cool.
A 50-year-old building with a drum in the corner. You know, it's weird where owners place value. Is my point. Mm-hmm. The value on the Chiefs right now is perception. Is perception. That's all the owner seems to care about. Is the public perception of his team. And when the media jumped on their poor report card and put them in the bottom of the league and how the players perceive their employer, that bothered them. That doesn't bother everybody. Yeah. I don't think Jerry Jones gives a shit what his players think about him or his team.
Highly unlikely.
Yeah, it's the people who pay the money to get in. That's who he's worried about.
Yeah.
You know, it's all right. Anyway, I'm getting off on a side tangent, but yes, I think that was the source's point. And some owners worry about player happiness just generally because they think that means their team is going to be better. Most owners, player happiness is very low on their list of priorities. Very low.
Yeah, no, it's true. That's true. Like in any sport, not just football.
All right, so we spent a lot of time on that. So mine is just gonna be a real quick hit.
Yeah.
Zach Martin from the Dallas Cowboys announced his retirement.
Really?
I don't know if you saw this.
I did not.
Yes. He has played 11 seasons. He's 34 years old. He has made the Pro Bowl 9 times.
Oh,
9-time Pro Bowler in 11 years. But that's not the most shocking stat of his career.
Okay, I'm ready.
In 9 seasons,
yep,
he amassed a combined 7 holding penalties.
Wow.
He will retire after 11 seasons with more Pro Bowl appearances than holding penalties.
Wow. Maybe he should be Juwan Taylor's personal line coach.
Juwan Taylor has more holding penalties before lunch than this guy had in 11 years.
Wow, that is impressive.
By the way, can I just sidestep it because you brought
go
up
ahead.
Juwan Taylor?
Yeah, of course.
The entire time I'm watching the Chiefs, the Super Bowl, and I'm seeing all the mistakes. I'm seeing the miscues. I'm seeing the defensive offsides. I'm seeing the offensive penalties. And my wife is sitting there. And the only thing my wife knows about the Kansas City Chiefs, well, she knows Patrick Mahomes. She knows Travis Kelce. She knows the big names. How many people's wives who don't follow football actually know the name and number of one of the offensive linemen? Not many.
Very few. Very few.
But my wife knows number 74 is Juwan Taylor. And she knows he's the big guy on the end of the line.
Oh, he is. Usually further back than he should be or in front of it.
Yep. He got called on that like 2 or 3 times this year. And so we're watching, and this is going due south. And halftime comes, and she says to me, I'm going to go take a shower and get ready for bed. Are you going to be okay? And I'm like, yeah, I'm grumpy, but I'll be fine. And she looks at me and goes, well, on the plus side, they haven't called the penalty on Juwan Taylor yet. And I said, you know what? That's probably the most surprising thing of this.
Yeah.
More surprising than being down 22-0 is that Juwan Taylor went an entire half of football, and then the first possession of the second half, he got a holding penalty.
Yes. He had to make up for it.
He was like, don't forget about me. I'm still here, and I still am bad at what I do. Oh, my God. Okay. All right, moving on. So tonight we want to talk a little bit about the free agency stuff that's going on. We have a lot of guys in the free agent market this year. So we're going to just go really quickly. We're going to do just quick hits team by team.
Yeah.
One name, one person, one thing you notice, what jumps out to you from the list. And we're not going to review the whole list, but so let's start. We're going to go alphabetical. We'll start with the Buffalo Bills.
Okay.
I'll lead off on this one. What jumps off to me is that there's a lot of notable names here on the defensive side of the ball. Smoot, Quentin Jefferson, Russell Douglas, DeMar Hamlin, Reed Ferguson, Jordan Phillips. I almost missed Jordan Phillips. These are all guys who contribute on a fairly regular basis. It's not like this is like the 4th or 5th. Like one of the names in this list is running back Ty Johnson. Who cares? no one cares that Ty Johnson is a free agent. Ty Johnson probably doesn't care he's a free agent. But Dwayne Smoot is a free agent. It's a big deal. Reed Ferguson's a big deal. What jumps out to me is that they are going to have to spend some money, or they're going to have to replace key defensive pieces.
Yeah, no, they are. Oh, and then really quick. So the list we're looking at, just so everyone knows, these people, as of, what is this, February 20th? These people either are, A, they've been traded, B, they've decided to retire, or they're going to announce they're going to retire, and C is they've been released, or they are scheduled to be a free agent in like 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
Yeah. I think all these guys are actually free agents in one way, shape, or another.
Yeah. Yeah, no, Buffalo, I don't know. Buffalo is a very confusing team to me. They're really good, and then they hit like a brick wall in the playoffs. Not as bad as the Ravens and everyone's MVP Lamar, but they just get to a point and they stop, and I don't know why. I think this, I don't know if Amari Cooper I don't know if they're going to re-sign him. Yeah, I don't know. Like, Buffalo, to me, is just a confusing team, and you're right. They're going to have to spend money on defense.
Flashes of greatness.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
They can't lose to Kansas City during the regular season, but for some reason in the playoffs, they look like deer in the headlights when they stand against the Kansas City Chiefs. I don't understand it.
I don't know. I think it's just it's in their head now, and I don't know.
Is this an I'm in your head Flores moment?
I think it is for them as a collective unit. I think it is.
Wow. All right, so that's the Bills. Here's the thing about move on to the Dolphins.
It's literally an entire team.
Yeah, it is. They have 5 offensive linemen on this list, 2 tight ends, 3 wide receivers. Not only when I say 3 wide receivers, the wide receivers are Braxton Berrios, River Carcraft, and Dwayne Eskridge.
Yeah, I mean, maybe Berrios.
None of these names. This is more volume than anything else. I don't see a single name on here that I'm like, oh my God, you can't afford to lose. I mean, Raheem Mostert's on here, but they'd already told him they were gonna cut ties with him, so that's not shocking. I think my takeaway from this list is the Miami Dolphins are going to be a very different looking team next year, just in terms of personnel.
They are, and I've already started seeing rumors that they are looking for Tua's replacement. So
now would be the time to do it, right?
I feel like exactly, and I feel like Miami's like they're in this weird gray area where they were kind of like the Bills almost, where there were these flashes of greatness and then it just goes away. And it's like week to week.
Concussions.
I really think
it's just not durable.
No, he's not. And I think they have finally realized that they can't keep going back to him because, let's face it, after what he said, 5 concussions that we know of, like, it's gonna happen again. I hate to say it, and they're gonna need someone to replace him eventually. I think this entire
now's the time.
Exactly, and this shows it right here because this is actually a lot of them are probably backups or like 2 down people. Yeah. But hey, Jackson Carman, good for him. He was a Bengal, but I guess he's not even a Dolphin anymore. But but yeah, it'll be interesting what comes of Miami next year. So
takes us to the New England Patriots. They have just a few people, honestly. But like notable names, Jacoby Brissett, JaMychal Hasty, Austin Hooper is on this list. Jonathan Jones, the cornerback, is on this list. I don't really see anything because the Patriots are already in a full rebuild anyway. Yeah. I don't see them needing to bring or not bring any of these guys back. So to me, it's just kind of like, eh.
No, I mean, Jacoby he's a solid backup. You know, he's kind of one of those journeyman quarterbacks now. So I'm sure if he still wants to play, I'm sure he'll find another team fairly quickly.
Yeah.
Austin Hooper, honestly, I forgot Austin Hooper still played.
Yeah.
In complete honesty, I don't know how much longer he's going to be around. And yeah, everyone else, you're right. The Patriots are in full rebuild mode. So I don't know if this list matters that much for them.
on that brings us to the New York Jets. Obviously, the big name is Aaron Rodgers.
There is.
And yeah, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, apparently there are, again, rumors that he actually had a whole conversation trying to convince the Jets to keep him. Like, he wanted to stay there.
I don't think he's a starter anywhere else at this point in his career.
What if he winds up in Minnesota like Brett Favre? You
got McCarthy coming back.
Do you though? You don't even know if he can walk.
They did say his recovery was slower than expected.
See?
They did say JJ McCarthy was going to be a slower recovery.
He winds up he winds up in Minnesota. He owns the Bears for 2 more games. See? It could happen.
What really sticks out to me on this list is that it's like 5 or 6 offensive players, 3 or 4 of which are on the line, and then it's a whole laundry list of defensive guys that they're losing or have lost. Hassan Reddick is huge. I mean, Hassan Reddick leaving is a huge.
It is, and he had that whole controversy at the beginning of this last season where he didn't show up, and it was whole contract thing, and he didn't play. So yeah, he just does not want to be a Jet. So he's gonna wind up somewhere else. Where I don't know, but he's gonna wind up somewhere else.
All right, so that takes us to the AFC North. We're gonna try and get through the AFC today. The Baltimore Ravens. There are some interesting names here. Deontay Johnson, who came back to Baltimore solely for the purpose of being a free agent so they can get a compensatory pick in the 26th draft. Nelson Aguilar. Nelson Aguilar will forever be that guy that almost was.
Yeah.
You know?
Where did he start on the Eagles originally? Let's see.
Yes.
If I click his name. Where does this bring me?
He was an Eagle. I just don't remember if that was his first stop or not.
Damn it, stat button. Career.
But like that's huge. If you're a fan of the show Arcane on Netflix, then you would know at the end of the first season there was a song that actually Sting sang for the show called What Could Have Been, and it's a lament about why didn't things work out right for me. And that's like Nelson Aguilar's theme song.
Okay, so he was an Eagle from 2015 to 2019. 2020 he was a Raider. 21 to 22 he was a Patriot, and then 23-24 he's a Raven. I didn't even realize. I totally forgot he was a Raider.
Yeah, I forgot about his time with the Raiders too. I'm sure he would like to forget about his time with the Raiders. But Patrick McCarry, the offensive guard. Ooh, is he going? What happened to him?
I don't know. Is it dead money?
It might be a dead money situation, but he is a very good guard. And he has been there for several years. He's been there since 2019. He started every game since 2022. Like, oh my Lord. I'm shocked that he probably wants a shit ton of money. That's probably what it is.
Wait a minute. How in the hell in 2020 did he have a fumble?
He had a fumble recovery.
Oh.
He recovered somebody else dropping the ball. The Ravens are so close to being the team that everybody wants them to be, and the team that the Source and Cinch desperately want them to be. I will not even get into the hours of text messages about why Lamar Jackson is the most valuable player.
That's all between the two of them and Sean. The MVP is such a stupid award now. I'm sorry, it is, because one person says it's based on stats. The other person says it's based on how your team does. And someone else says it's based on your stats and how your team does. One person says it's based on your stats, your position stats, and then, we're going to throw in some running back stats and make sure you're good at that too, and how your team does. It's stupid. It's a popularity contest. It's stupid.
And then I walk into the room and go, "You're all wrong. It's value relative to your team's performance." And everybody stares at me like I'm an idiot because there's no way to actually measure that.
There really isn't.
There's no way to sit there and say, "Well, they won 3 games because of Lamar." If they had another average person there, that's 3 games they would have lost. There's no way to actually predict that.
Yeah, exactly.
So, but that's how I view the award. It's you're the most valuable player to your team's success. And, I felt Allen was that for the Bills. The Bills are a very average team without Josh Allen in the backfield.
Yes.
very average. I think the Ravens. I don't know that the Ravens suffer quite as much because we've seen the Ravens play without Lamar, and while it ain't pretty, they still seem to manage to be competitive. I don't know if the Bills are competitive without Josh Allen.
They might want to find a new kicker though. Just saying.
Yeah. I wish the Chiefs would find a new kicker, but that's different reasons. All right, let's move on to Craig's favorite, the Cincinnati Bengals. There are several notable names.
Many names.
T. Higgins, Mike Gesicki. There's a couple. Joseph Asai, the edge rusher, is here. Von Bell, who I'd forgotten was still a thing. I'm just going to yield the floor to you, Craig. What strikes you about this list, or what's the most significant loss for your Bengals?
I mean, it's going to be T. Higgins. I mean, guess they're going to, they might tag him again. Did they tag him again?
They said it was expected they would tag him, but I don't think it's happened officially yet.
Okay. Because I know he said he wants to stay there, but again, pretend football math. I realize it doesn't always work because they have to give Chase a contract. Right. So outside of Higgins, Khalil Herbert, Sean told me he was good. I don't believe him, but they need a backup running back. He really wasn't in much, so I can't really say. I enjoyed Mike as a tight end. He performed really well. I hope they keep him. Don't know if they can. Tanner Hudson, he had flashes of good plays, but he wasn't in a lot. Trent Brown and Cody Ford.
Are you going to do this whole list?
I mean, I might as well. Well, at least the offense part.
All right, go ahead.
I mean, their offensive line was better. Can Trent Brown stay there? I don't know if they can afford him. And listen, their defense as a whole was terrible. It was just bad. I like Von Bell and I like Mike Hilton. Will it work out? They'll stay there? I don't know, but their whole defense needs a redo.
Fair enough.
So, yeah.
Well, let's drop down to the Cleveland Browns. Jameis Winston is on the top of this list.
Of course he is. He's honestly on the top of many lists.
What jumps out to me on this list is that Nick Chubb, Deontay Foreman, and Nyheim Hines are all on this list.
That means they have no running backs.
I mean, seriously, who am I forget? There is somebody else there.
Let's see. Roster.
Why am I'm just drawing a blank? Because Chubb was hurt.
Load, damn you. Let's see on the list.
I'm an off-season brain already. I can't even remember who's on the freaking
roster. Donta Foreman.
Was the backup for Chubb?
He's on, yes. He's
thinking of Kareem Hunt, even though he wasn't there this year.
You might have been. 2 years ago, you might have been.
So, needless to say, they need to do something with their running back situation. You can't let Nick Chubb walk. Dante Foreman and Nyheim Hines are not going to carry the load.
Oh, and they have John Kelly.
No. No. That's the Browns are, and the problem is, while the Browns are now married to Deshaun Watson for like the foreseeable future, they can't let Winston. If they let Winston walk, they got to bring in somebody solid to back it up. And Aaron Rodgers ain't putting on orange.
No.
He's not going to back up a terrible Browns team and be okay with it. So, what strikes you on this list?
What strikes me on this list is Myles Garrett is not on it because he does not want to be a Brown anymore.
But he hasn't been cut, and he's not a free agent.
It is true. That's true. On this list really is their running backs. Like you were just saying, they have a distinct problem at quarterback and running back that they really need to figure out.
Which are key positions.
Exactly.
They've also got 4 offensive tackles on this list. How many offensive tackles do you have, or all your offensive tackles going into free agency? Because you only have 2 tackles at starting at a time. You probably run 6 deep, and 4 of them are on this list.
Let's look really quick.
And I'm not saying offensive line, just tackles, guys.
Is Jack Conklin on that list?
He is not. So there's one.
There's one. Jermaine, is he on that list?
Jermaine is on the list.
Oh, sad.
So one of your starting offensive tackles is good, and the other one is on this list, and probably all of his backups.
Roy? Is Roy on the list? I'm on a different page.
I don't see a Roy.
Okay, so there you go. There's 2. Roy and...
There's 2. So you're going to keep those 2 and just...
Roy and Jack. Exactly.
All right, let's move on to the Steelers. The Steelers have every quarterback on earth is a free agent this year or is parting ways. Kyle Allen, Justin Fields, and Russell Wilson. But that's not the biggest problem they have.
Oh, no?
The biggest problem they have is that Najee Harris is on this list.
He's not coming back. I've said that for 2 seasons. The Steelers do not like Najee Harris for some reason. They don't use him. I don't think they're not going to re-sign him. He is not going to be a Steeler next year. I don't see it. But that's me.
All right, so now I'm going. Yeah, so Yahoo did a piece on this today entitled "Steelers Can Easily Afford to Re-Sign Najee Harris."
They can.
Should they?
They're not going to.
So what is it that Cinch always tells us about running backs?
You never give them a second contract.
Never give them a second contract. I'm going to disagree with him here because Najee is only 26. So you can probably give him a 3-year deal and be safe. But
I don't think that. I just don't think they want him for some reason. They just, like the last 2 seasons, they just don't. They haven't really used him as efficiently, and I just don't think they want him there anymore. Just like they don't want Justin Fields or Russell Wilson. I still think Justin Fields should be a Jet, but that's me.
Wait, this says Jalen Warren is going to be on the market too, but I don't see him on the list. Okay, maybe it's, I don't know. Okay, that might be something.
Wait, one of their tight ends is named Mike Cole, literally capital M-Y, capital C-O-L-E.
Michael Pruitt, yeah, he actually I believe had a decent year for them.
Really?
Oh, I know the name.
Hey,
if I know your name, then you must have been something.
Hey, and Mike Williams. You know Mike Williams.
Oh God, really? Okay, so I'm an idiot. Michael Williams did play. His best game was 2 catches for 21 yards. So I don't know how I know Michael Pruitt, but I know Michael Pruitt. Mike Williams, yeah, go somewhere else. Go somewhere else. I don't know what to tell you. So, all right, let's run to the AFC South really quick. The Houston Texans. The problem I see with first off, they have a ton. There is a lot of defensive changes coming this year, guys. There's a lot of defenders on this list, and their defense has been dominant. So I'm not even going to touch there because as a fantasy guy, my eyes immediately go to the fact that both Diggs and Big Bobby Trees,
that's right,
and Irv Smith are all free agents.
Yep, they are.
Diggs hasn't been great there. Tank has been really kind of getting the lion's share of attention and stuff. But can you really afford to lose all those targets?
Yeah, I mean the GM said he would want Stephon Diggs back, but will it happen? I don't know.
They changed offensive coordinators too. They were 12th in the league in the 2023 season. They were 12th in the league in offense. They were 19th in the league this year. So they switched offensive coordinators. I just don't know. I don't know. The Houston Texans are a quandary to me. Let's go to the Colts really quick. Not a lot of names on this list.
Mo Alley Cox.
Mo Alley Cox is on the list. That's a name we all love. Again, just play the music. What could have been Trey Sermon is on the list.
Yeah.
Yep. But I don't see anything epic here that jumps out to me. Anything that jumps out to you?
Not really. I mean, Flacco's there, but he's in the sunset of his career. So yeah, he's going to be a backup. Sam Ehlinger, I don't think it really matters for them. Yeah, but not really. Again, more defensive changes than anything.
The Colts need to figure out their quarterback situation. End of story. The end.
Yes.
You're either rolling with Anthony Richardson or you're not. And you can't keep going, well, he sucks today. Let's pull him in the third quarter of a game that's only 1 score and see what happens. No. Okay, moving on. Jacksonville, CJ Beathard and Mac Jones are both on this list.
Cinch's favorite player. Heard it here. Cinch's favorite
Jones, player. Yeah, I mean, I really think, I don't even know.
I don't know. I think Bill Lawrence, I think he would be better off on another team at this point. Jacksonville was so disappointing for me this year. I thought they were going to be so much better, and they were not at all. They were actually a little worse. They were worse than I thought they could be.
They took a huge step backwards this year. They cleaned house. in a move that when I sat down and read it, I was absolutely shocked. And I'm drawing a blank on a new head coach's name. Hold on, I've got it somewhere here. Where is it? Where is it? Ah, hold on. I'll search it really quick. Jaguars head coach. Oh, Liam Cohen. They wanted to poach him from Tampa. Did you hear this whole story?
I did not.
Okay, so they wanted to poach this kid Liam Cohen from Tampa.
Okay.
And he apparently interviewed and then removed his name from consideration and was like, I'm going to go back to Tampa for the 2025 season, blah, blah, blah. And then all of a sudden, after all of that happens, the Jaguars fire their GM.
Oh, okay.
And Liam Cohen is suddenly like, all right, now I'll come. The owner wanted this, and the owner supposedly was like, that's the guy I want. I want that guy. Shay Khan was, I want that guy. I want him. And to the point where he was like, guys, this ain't the right fit for me. They probably said to him, okay, we're already driving a dump truck full of money. What is it? Well, the GM and me, he's gone. It appears on paper the Jaguars literally fired their GM to woo this guy away from Tampa.
Interesting.
I don't know. He says his focus is going to be the offensive line. He's got 2 offensive guards on this list, but other than that, nothing really moves the meter. Can we just move on? Let's just move on. So we're almost at a time we're not even through the AFC South yet. The Titans, Mason Rudolph is on this list. Tyler Boyd is on this list.
Yeah.
A bunch of linebackers.
Yeah, the Titans have the first pick for a reason. They are in a team that is rebuilding completely from scratch.
Are they really the 1 pick? I haven't looked at all the draft.
Yes, and if the Bengals beat the Patriots in the first game of the season, they would have made the playoffs, and the Patriots would have the first pick, and I would have won a giant parlay, but no one's really bitter about it, are they? Moving on.
All right, so the AFC West, we'll finish up there. Denver Broncos, Jarrett Stidham will finally be going somewhere else. Zach Wilson, But the name on this list, Javonte Williams.
Sean's favorite running back.
Sean does love Javonte.
He really does. Maybe he'll be a Bear, unlikely. Cinch would not sign him again because no second contracts.
A year ago at this time, I was talking Denver a complete rebuild, and they were way better this year than I expected them to be.
They were
way better. So do they bring back Javonte Williams? Are they looking into the draft? What do you think they're going to do here?
I can't see them bring him back. I don't know where they pick. Really?
Neither.
I mean, to me, with the way they played this year, to me, it would make sense to bring him back, but I don't know if if they're going to, because he's only 24. He has he's on the last year of his contract. This would be he'd be going into his 5th year. So supposedly this Denver's already told him they're not bringing it back, which is probably how he landed on this list. Again, I'm in off-season mode, so I have been, and I'm still mourning the Chiefs, so I've been kind of like picking my news carefully. But supposedly the Cowboys immediately looked up and went, "Really?" Yeah, I mean, I could see it. The Cowboys don't really have anyone.
Yeah, they've got a terrible offensive line that could work. Sure.
Yeah, sure.
All right, let's talk about my Chiefs. There is a laundry list of people here. Carson Wentz, don't care. Kareem Hunt, Samaje Perine, okay. But Hollywood Brown, Mecole Hardman, DeAndre Hopkins, Juju Smith-Schuster, and Justin Watson are all on this list. Basically, everybody who can't catch a ball is on this list. And shockingly, I don't know how I can even feel comfortable saying this, but Mecole Hardman isn't even the worst name on this list. They're either going to bring 2 of these guys back, or they are going to have to turn over the entire team. I'm more concerned about some of these names I'm seeing on defense. Omenahue, our edge rusher, is here. I also see, Derek Nottie had an okay year, but Nick Bolton, our linebacker, Justin Reed, these are all guys that I think really key defensive pieces are here. I think my biggest problem is I don't see Jawan Taylor's name, and that really upsets me quite a bit.
That means he is coming back. No, I think your receiving core is what needs a lot of help. Well, I mean the running backs too, because I don't know who do you have after Hunt and Perine.
Pacheco is there.
And then
I think those are the three we used. I think it was Hunt, Pacheco, and Perrine. There was we had when Pacheco was down, we had
that rookie dude, the blonde dude. What was his name?
He's going nowhere fast. Steele.
There you go. That's his name.
I don't even remember his first name. That's how little importance he is. But yeah, I mean, I would like them to bring back Kareem Hunt for one more run. I would. But all right, let's talk about the tire fires. That is the Las Vegas Raiders. Amir Abdullah, Alexander Madison are the names on the top of this list. There is a ton against on the defensive side, but this is a team in full rebuild. I don't know that you need to bring back any of these guys.
No, remember when we thought for like maybe half a season that Madison was the number one running back?
Yes.
Then we were wrong.
Another guy could have been.
Exactly.
The same thing about Amir Abdullah when he was in Detroit.
True.
This is Abdullah's breaking out. It's just he had like 2 games.
Yeah, and sometimes it just doesn't happen.
It doesn't happen.
No.
Places it doesn't happen on that line. We're going to go to the LA Chargers.
They are the West Coast. They are the West Coast version of the Jaguars.
Yes. Everyone and their mother is a free agent here.
Yes.
J.K. Dobbins, DJ Shark, Jalen Reagor, Hayden Hurst. Yep. Khalil Mack is a free agent or is not coming back. Eli Apple, one of Craig's favorite people. Asante Samuel is on this list. My question for you.
Yeah.
There's a lot of pieces here. There's a lot of just guys, right? Just a guy, or which one person used to say to me, that's what Jags stand for. The Jags stand for just a guy.
Yep.
There's a bunch of just a guys here, but there's also some pieces. Like, I feel like J.K. Dobbins is still a piece of a puzzle. Khalil Mack can still be a piece of the puzzle. Do you think that they just go full kind of like, okay, this is my team now? I'm drawing a complete with Harbaugh. With Harbaugh now pulling the strings, do you think this is a full rebuild, or do you think they bring some of these guys back?
I think they might bring a few back, but yeah, I think Harbaugh is going to use this to kind of mold this team to what he wants it to be. Because all these people were here before, I think, for the most part.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
We're all here before he got there.
Dobbins, I think, came this year, but that's it.
It was Dobbins. Yeah, I don't know if they're going to re-sign him. I mean, I've always been a giant fan of his, but I don't know if the Chargers are going to re-sign him. I mean, I wouldn't give Eli Apple another contract, but that's me.
I wouldn't have given Eli Apple this contract.
But yeah, they're going to have a huge, just like this year is going to be, like you were saying before, this year is going to be a giant defensive switchover for teams. And it's going to
pour a shoot ton of money into their defensive re-signs, or they're going to have to be comfortable with bringing in brand new guys across the board.
Yes, exactly. All
right, well, that's about out of time for us, Craig. So let's move on to final thoughts.
Yeah.
We'll talk about the NFC next time we talk. But what's burning in your mind as we go into the off season?
Hey, you know what? It's the off season. It's the chill time. Like Central say, baseball's almost here. So it's time just to, reflect on the season. Pay attention. You don't have to really pay attention, but pay attention to your team. But yeah, enjoy relaxing until the draft happens, and then it all starts again.
See, yeah, there's these segment breaks, and that's where I'll go with this. Is my final thought. There's these weird segmented breaks in the off season where there's rushes of activity and things for us to talk about, and then nothing happens for weeks.
Yeah.
Like we're in our post Super Bowl, and that's going to calm down, and the combine's going to happen, and 2 things are going to happen at the combine, and everyone's going to talk about it. It's going to quiet down. And then the draft, my God, the draft, and then it's going to be like, okay, it's June, nothing is happening.
Exactly.
It's bizarre. Football is weird that way. We'll see where it goes.
Because really, the next big football, unless something major happens, the next big football day is March 12th, when technically all these contracts end or people get re-signed, and it's technically the new year for the league.
Right.
So.
Right, which is why I think you hear a lot of people, they're going to use the tag on this guy, they're going to use the tag on that guy. I don't think they can use the tag on anybody until March 12th.
Exactly.
So or around March. So that there's a period of time where the tag can be applied, and we're not in it yet. We're not in that window yet. So yeah. So we're kind of in that quiet time, which is good because I'm still licking my wounds. I I don't know what to tell people about the Chiefs other than that was the least prepared Andy Reid team I've ever seen.
Yeah, they looked after, say, like, by the time the second quarter started, they looked really lost as a team.
They looked lost.
They did. They looked like they did not know what was happening.
On the same page. Yeah, exactly. They didn't look on the same page. Didn't look like they had any clue how to play with each other. It was just really awkward. Awkward's the word I'll use.
There you go. That is a good word for it. Yes, I agree.
And it's not just that they were bad. It's because the Chiefs never look that bad.
Right.
Like if you would show me that game on week 1 and said this is the start of the year, I'd be like, that team's not making the playoffs. There's no way that team makes the playoffs this year. So, it's just so bizarre. So bizarre. And now the big news out of Kansas City is Patrick Mahomes got a haircut.
That's right, because there's nothing else going on until till Travis and Taylor get married or break up, I guess.
He's hit that. Although I did see one pundit say that the Chiefs will make the Super Bowl every year until they break up because Roger Goodell wants her on screen. Although they only showed her for like a combined 30 seconds.
Yeah, she wasn't on much this year.
Yeah, they barely acknowledged it that Tay was at the game. So
yeah,
which is fine. I don't care about the exposure either way. But when your boyfriend has a bad game and looks on the sidelines like he doesn't know anybody that he's playing with for the first time ever, I can understand them not wanting to go there. So yeah. But anyway, but where you should go? You should go online and leave us a review on whatever website you found us on. If you found us on Apple, which is most likely, but there's also a bunch of other places that were listed. Wherever you found us, leave us a review. It would be a tremendous help. And if you want to talk about something, now's a great time to reach out to us. We are available at fignutsdfs@gmail.com. We also have a Facebook presence, but I deleted Facebook off my phone, so I don't even know if anybody's checking it anymore. I'm kind of done with social media.
Fair, yeah. I mean, I agree.
I know that's not good for the podcast, but I'm kind of done with it for mental health reasons.
Yeah, I agree.
Twitter's a cesspool. Nobody's on anything else. Facebook is like, oh, okay, won't go there. But if you want to reach out to us via email. We would love to hear from you. So, Craig, welcome to the off season. Go get yourself some drinks. We're gonna take it easy. Baseball's right around the corner at Cinch. Literally every year, as soon as the Patriots either out of it or he thinks there's no chance they win the Super Bowl, his mind switches to, and we start getting these texts like in the second week of the playoffs, pitchers and catchers in 42 days. Oh, okay, it's wild card weekend. What are we doing here? So he makes that switch better and earlier than everybody else. But yeah, I feel like everybody is at the point of making that switch. Chuck, did you see the list of players that the Mets invited to spring training?
No, I did not.
I think Sean put it into the thread at one point.
Oh, did he?
We invited like 7 left-handed pitchers. And
that's right. Yes.
Right-handers.
That's right. That's when I said he was racist against left-handed
which
pitchers.
Is only funny because he is left-handed.
I know, so am I.
Both of you are left-handed. So, all right, we've gone way past our final thoughts. Everybody, thank you for joining us. We will be using a very flexible schedule during the offseason, even more so than the season. So I won't even say I'll see you next week. We will get to next week. We will see if there's content that we can provide, and if there is, we'll be here. But until we speak next, my name is Britt.
I'm Craig.
And we are the Football Fignuts Podcast. Hi, Deb.